It is common to compare the Middle East to a referee entangled in an East-West tug-of-war. There are plenty of resources there, but democracy is not one of those. In certain regions of this area, there have been wars, coups, or corruption nearly annually for the previous 100 years. Taking note of all this, other superpowers are paving their way in the Middle East, and China is one of the big names nowadays. That seems a huge threat to the U.S. How is China making things happen for them in the Middle East? Let's find out in this video. The Middle East is currently the focus of attention for people all over the world. This time, the growing competition between China and the United States is the reason behind it. Resources and power are major factors in this confrontation, but things are not as simple as they seem. China's entry into the Middle East is like a new player joining an intricate game. It ushers in a new era that has the potential to challenge American dominance. Till now, America was that monitor of class whom no one questioned, but China is now standing for the same position. Therefore, it is important to look at this change in the balance of power. Not only does the Middle East have significant influence over world politics and energy, but also because of its oil. Though some believe that the importance of renewable energy may decrease, it is not the complete story. China is a major player in this as well, motivated by its need for energy security. This candidate for the position of monitor appears to be excelling in everything we bring up in the Middle East. However, one huge initiative that is changing the game in the region is China's Belt and Road Initiative. The main goal is to link Europe, Asia, and Africa by increasing trade and improving infrastructure. Since its launch in 2013, this project, also referred to as the Silk Road Economic Belt, has been forming new alliances and changing established power structures. Although the Belt and Road Initiative is hailed as one of the largest infrastructural projects in history, some doubters, particularly in the West, believe it's about more than just enhancing connectivity. It is being said that your energy expenses might skyrocket in the coming months, much like the cost of groceries and gas continues to rise. In fact, energy costs have risen to such an extreme that 20 million U.S. households are struggling to make ends meet and are in danger of going into debt. Because average families are unable to keep up with the escalating cost of electricity, some power companies are confronting an astounding $13 million in delinquent payments. For many individuals nowadays, it's an unpleasant reality. Securing energy resources is the main goal of China's Middle East strategy to support its swift economic expansion. China's economic influence in the region has grown significantly as a result of programs like the Belt and Road Initiative. China is making significant investments, totaling about $1 trillion, not only to guarantee a consistent supply of oil, but also to build major infrastructure projects, ranging from developments in Iraq and Iran to terminals in the Red Sea. These initiatives are strategically and economically significant, giving China sway over West Asia. Furthermore, China wants to increase its technological might through the Digital Silk Road Plan. It is already aligning itself with the region's digital transformation aspirations by gaining contracts for 5G networks and working together on cybersecurity. China is, in effect, creating a network of influence that extends well beyond its energy resources. Moreover, soft power plays a role in China's technology push in addition to economics. China is consolidating its power in the Middle East by reshaping the region's digital environment. But the complexity of the area adds more layers of uncertainty. The Middle East is still rife with potential conflicts due to its numerous religious and ethnic groupings and historical tensions. A mosaic of factions is created by Sunni and Shia Muslims, Christians, Jews, Arabs, Persians, and smaller religions. This complexity highlights how fragile China's ties are with the Gulf states, which are wealthy in oil, as well as its larger participation in the region. There are a lot of rival factions in the Middle East, making it far from stable. China and the US are both fully aware that this lack of concord isn't a recipe for peace. China's military connections with countries like Saudi Arabia and Iran demonstrate its geopolitical goals in addition to its economic endeavors. China's increasing involvement in the security of the region and its improving geopolitical position stems from its willingness to step in where the West hesitates. Many Middle Eastern states find resonance in China's non-interventionist strategy and emphasis on shared interests, which provides an alternative to the frequently conditional partnerships cultivated by Western powers. With this strategy, China can establish itself as a trustworthy partner while expanding its influence in the area. With its senior diplomats mediating high-profile disputes and brokering accords, like the reconciliation between Iran and Saudi Arabia, China's diplomatic efforts are beginning to bear fruit. China's reputation as a broker of peace has been enhanced by these moves, which also present China as a solid substitute for the less reliable methods of Western diplomacy. The ongoing strategic moves are highlighted by recent developments, such as the USS Eisenhower aircraft carrier strike group's redirection to Middle Eastern waters. China is also arranging its military forces strategically throughout the area, putting them in Djibouti, the United Arab Emirates, and Oman. This action directly challenges U.S. interests and highlights the need for strategic leverage, as well as the possibility of conflict. China is making strategic steps to safeguard its shipping lanes and oil interests, as seen by its conversations about creating military bases in the United Arab Emirates and Oman. This military buildup solves vulnerabilities in China's energy imports, while also tipping the scales in the region. China's geopolitical and economic objectives depend heavily on these places. They provide essential access to important sea lanes that are required for China's import and export of energy. For example, a large amount of the world's oil goes via the Strait of Hormuz, which is close to Oman. Comparably, China's marine reach is increased by the United Arab Emirates' advantageous location, which gives access to both the Indian Ocean and the Arabian Gulf. Beyond energy security, China is extending its military presence in Oman and the United Arab Emirates. It's a blatant sign that China is prepared to challenge the dominance of Western countries, especially the United States, in regional and international affairs by taking a more assertive stance. China's potential to influence the dynamics of regional security is strengthened by its military presence in these key areas. China now has more negotiating leverage and geopolitical leverage as a result. There are important wider ramifications. China is posing a direct threat to U.S. interests in the Middle East and its long-standing position as the region's security guarantee. Although others contend that the U.S. needs to modify its approach, these attempts are hampered by its problems with credibility. It is imperative to strike an appropriate balance between acknowledging the evolving dynamics of the region and resisting Chinese influence. This calls for a multimodal strategy that emphasizes engagement in the economy, diplomacy, and fostering links in the arts and sciences. The United States has not exactly been a model diplomat throughout the past century, particularly in the Middle East. Relationships in the region have frequently been disrupted by its interventionist efforts. China, on the other hand, has no trouble wooing leaders in the Middle East, making the U.S. appear like a repentant ex who sends flowers of remorse. There has been a major change in the world order as a result of the growing rivalry between the U.S. and China in the Middle East. As China increases its clout in the military, economy, and diplomacy, the Middle East becomes a critical front in East-West power confrontations. But this rivalry has far-reaching effects that go well beyond the region. It affects international security, global governance, and energy markets worldwide. The future of the area and the entire planet will be shaped by how the US and China handle this new reality. What are your thoughts on the matter? Do share with us in the comments section below. If you enjoyed watching the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video.